Hello everyone! Welcome back to my channel. So if you're new here, my name is Raymond and today I'm going to do my June wrap-up. Before I begin my video, shoutout muna tayo sa lahat ng Tricycle Drivers out there. Maraming salamat po because without you guys, hindi ako makagraduate ng elementary and high school kasi somehow yun po ang mode of transportation ko nung araw. To all of my friends and family and sa lahat sa inyo Tricycle Driver, malaki po ang ambag nyo sa lipunan kaya maraming salamat po. So for the month of June, I'm really happy kasi this is the first time that I joined a readathon, which is the Percydathon. So if you are not familiar with the Percydathon, I will link my TBR video in this section so you can check it out. Basically, I really did enjoy this readathon even though na hindi ako nakasali sa mga book discussion every Saturday. It's because I'm an introvert, so somehow alam niyo na kung bakit hindi ako nakakasali, but I basically did participate, especially with somehow in other social media platforms, which is Twitter and Instagram. So all of my updates with the readathon. So for this month, I managed to read 10 books, and with 9 books it's fantasy and 1 dystopian novel. So this is really unusual because I haven't read any contemporary. So in my previous wrap up, I actually managed to read a lot of contemporary, but now it's really more fantasy and more fantasy itself. So with the Percydathon, I managed to read 8 books and 7 of them is from July, and the last one, which is the last Olympians, will be on my July wrap-up. This is the book 5 of PJO, and this will not be included in my wrap-up video for June since I've read this on July. So this will be on my July wrap-up video. Percydathon wrap-up, I managed to read book 1, book 3, and book 4 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians. So it consists of The Lightning Thief, The Titan's Curse, and The Battle of the Labyrinth. If you guys wondering kung bakit hindi ko binasa yung second book, it's because it was really not planned at all. And to be honest, the book 1 was actually not also planned. I was actually planning for book 3, 4, and 5 lang babasahin ko. With the Percydathon prompts, I've only managed to do 4 prompts kasi yung last one is hindi ko siya nagawa, which is the Olympian standards. Yung Olympian standards hindi ko siya nagawa. It's because I ran out of time and yeah. But anyway, I feel I achieved my Percydathon since I reread the first one, which is The Lightning Thief. So kumbaga nag-swap lang tayo. So yung doon sa kabila kulang, yung isa sobra. So balance lang tayo. I need to convince myself na na-achieve ko talaga yung readathon kahit na medyo may counting changes. So let's proceed with the first prompt. So number 1 is Percy Blue. So read a book with blue cover. So with this one, I picked The Girl the Sea Gave Back by Adrian Young. This book I gave 3 out of 5 stars, and this is actually the book that I mentioned from the previous video that I really did not like. The Girl the Sea Gave Back is a young adult fantasy warrior novel, and we follow our main character Tova that somehow can create magic runes because of her tattoo that somehow can see the future or can predict the future. So the setting of this story is somehow 10 years after what happened to the sky in the deep. So as I mentioned in my previous video that I said that 7 years lang yung pagitan, but you know I was wrong. It is actually, I did research and ang sabi is somehow 10 years. So I did research, Google muna, aral-aral, wag puro TikTok. So for the second prompt is we have My Godly Parents. So read a book inspired by mythological stories. So with this one, I chose The Chaos of Stars by Kristen White. So if you guys don't know, Kristen White is one of my favorite authors. So she wrote N.I. Darken series, which is I really love. So ngayon, binanggit ko na naman yung N.I. Darken sa video na to. So The Chaos... Okay, Tricycle, go lang. The Chaos of Stars is a fantasy novel, and we follow our main character, which is Isadora, that is somehow the daughter of Isis and Osiris, inspired by the Egyptian mythology, and somehow our main character is really not in the mood of talking to his relatives, his mythological relatives. So one day she goes to San Diego for, you know, to just go out and, you know, do her thing, but somehow what happened is everything is somehow more dangerous and more complicated. What I like about this story is, of course, the mythological aspect of it, which is the Egyptian mythology. And aside from that, I really did love the family dynamics of this story, that, you know, whatever happens, good or bad, you know, your family will always be there. Sabi nga nila, blood is thicker than water. So the third prompt is Hero in Training. So read a book about protagonists that goes from hero to zero. So with this one, I picked The Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller. Daughter of the Pirate King is again a YA fantasy novel, and we follow our main character, which is a female character named Alosa, which is a daughter of an infamous pirate king. Mission of our main character is to steal a treasure map for her father, allowing herself to be kidnapped by a rival crew. With this book, I gave 3.25 out of 5 stars. I still love the book, I still enjoy the book, but there's just something that I'm not really interested with the story. But if you like a pirate story, if you like some romance, go pick this up. The next one is a beastly encounter. So read a book with monsters in it. So with this one, I actually changed my TBR with this because ang original is A Trail of Lightning. This book I've read, A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. So this is the book. Medyo nag-glare lang siya, but I'm just gonna show you some of the pictures. So ang ganda, illustrated edition siya. This book is an example of don't judge the book by its cover, because kung titingnan natin parang horror story, but with this book it's really an emotional, and it is actually a reread for me. The first time I read this book I got really emotional at the story. I rate this book a 5 out of 5 stars. It is a present England, so it features a boy who struggles with the consequences of the illness of his mother, and then somehow a monster is visiting him every night and telling stories. That's it with the PJO readathon. So all of the books that I've read under the readathon. So now let's proceed with the normal books that I've read for this month. So the first one is Emperor Queen by Laura Sebastian. So I gave this book a 3.5 out of 5 stars. This book is a third and final book in the Ash Princess trilogy, and to be honest, I'm a bit disappointed with this book. The reason why I'm a bit disappointed with this book, because the first few chapters, I think it's a bit of a slow pace, because the part wherein medyo interesting na yung book is when the time na parang nasa 300 pages mark na ako, and this is a final book, and I wish that there is something that really kumbaga, kung sana I suggest with the author, sana ibinigay niya lahat, parang sana naging fast-paced yung book. Wish it is a fast-paced book kasi nga it is the final book in a series. So yeah, the ending was okay, the ending was satisfying. I have nothing to say about that, but I just wish that because I feel like this is a first book, but then kumbaga I did not feel the what you call this, I did not feel kumbaga that this will be the end of the story. Ash Princess story is we follow our main character Theodosia, or her nickname Theo. So Theo is somehow the heir to the throne of the kingdom that the Kaiser conquered. The Kaiser is really bad because they killed the family of Theodosia. You guys are wondering bakit hindi na lang din pinatay si Theodosia. It's because pag pinatay siya, di wala ng kwento. Char. Reason why Kaiser did not kill our main character, because our main character was being used by her people, na kumbaga kunwari pagka nagkaroon ng rebellion yung mga tao, masasaktan ang ating main character. So yun yung simplest way to say it, pero madami pa ang nangyari during the first book and the second book. I really did love the series. The ending was just somehow okay, somehow fulfilling, but I wanted more in the story, because ang ganda nung synopsis, ang ganda nung setting ng story, but I find it the story a bit slow, a bit too much information that we want more action. Second one is, nahulaan niyo ba kung ano yung second one, which is I am really surprised with this book. So I'm giving you 3 seconds kung mahulaan kung ano yung tutukuyin kong libro, and that is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I was actually really surprised with the story. I love the dynamics of the different characters in this story. So if you guys don't know the story, it's somehow it's a heist, an impossible heist, and then somehow there is a suicidal mission, and everything is just really amazing. Remember somehow money heist in this story, but just like the content of it, just the content, the heist thing, because Money Heist, the Netflix series, is actually one of my favorite series of all time, and with this one I did enjoy it. Siguro I need to read more heist story, kasi parang yung heist, yung parang the topic heist is somehow really interests me, and I did enjoy this book. I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. And the last book that I've read for the month of June is The Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. So I have a book review and book vlog on this, so you can check it out. So this is a prequel of the Hunger Games. So I'm not gonna put more of a details of this kasi meron na akong book review. So if you want to know all of my thoughts and opinions, there is a spoiler, non-spoiler, and my reading vlog is a mild spoiler. So you can guys check it out. So dating gawe, buhatan. Okay. Okay. So these are the books that I've read for the month of June plus the 3 ebooks that I've read. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you wanted to see more about my bookish side, you can click subscribe. And I will see you on my next video. Bye!